Hello, hello. There we are. Turn my microphone on. I see we are live. Let me move a few things around on my screen so I can see your comments. There we go. Cool. All right. Hello. Happy Wednesday. Jessica here. And when you're here, comment. Say hello. Say hi. If you're catching the replay, type in replay. I just always love to see who's checking out the videos. And as we go along on these talks, also, if you have any questions, pop them in the comments. And usually at the end of the talks, I'll roll through questions that you have and have a little chat and conversation. So over the next few lives, the next few videos, they'll probably be around social media. And that's not because I am passionate about social media, but I really am passionate about what social media can do for your art business, the opportunities that can come from it. So I know also, like, that's why I asked the question last week in the group was, when it comes to social media, what feels heavy? I threw a couple of things out there. I asked, if there's other things I didn't mention, let me know. Because again, I'm not passionate about social media in and of itself, but I'm definitely passionate about its capabilities, the audience that you can reach with it. And it shouldn't feel heavy. Not to say that it is easy, but it can be simple. I see someone's here, so say hi when you're here. And I love how it was also mentioned in the group, and I did want to point to that comment. It was responded that, I believe it was Hannah, said he wakes up and posts his social media every morning and doesn't worry about the algorithm, doesn't worry about any of that. And I think that that is absolutely golden advice, because the strategy that is going to work for you, for each of you, the strategy that's going to work is the one that you do, is the one that you implement. Hi, Patty. So we all do things different when it comes to social media, but again, just as a reminder, like, I'm going to be sharing things that have worked for me over the years. And strategy sounds like such a boring thing, so I'm not exactly going to say you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, but more so doing things in a way. I just feel like you don't have to copy what anybody else is doing, is what I'm getting at. You can develop the way that you show up, how you talk, what you say. I mean, and you should own exactly what works for you and what feels good, but to do so in a way that feels good. I forgot what I was going to say. I was kind of starting to trail off. Thank goodness I have notes to keep me posted, to keep me on track here. I feel tired and excited, all wrapped into one today. So bear with me as I go through this. So I did ask that question last week in the group, and I also mentioned I was putting together something for social media. So I haven't fully decided if it's going to be like a boot camp, because I like the idea of sharing just simple strategies, simple ideas and things for you to do and implement in your social media in a boot camp style to encourage one another that is in the program, and also like the option to win a prize. If you complete all of the strategies, if you, try the strategies over 2 weeks, over 4 weeks, whatever, you're entered to win a prize at the end of it. I have that as an idea, even just a complete marketing program, sharing strategies, mindset, my content calendar, calls to action, all of those things. Or even just something really small where it's like a quick video and a PDF that has like images and caption topic ideas to post and share on your social media. So those are like things that I'm kicking around because, again, not passionate about social media in and of itself, but I am really passionate about what I know that it can do for our businesses, for our art businesses. Oh, that's my husband's calling. It's his lunchtime. So, yeah, today I'm starting off the whole topic of social media and all of the conversations with a very top line, straightforward talk on three things, like three goals that I really think that you should have when it comes to your social media. So, just going to start with simple, straightforward three things. Now, for me, like I feel very confident when I say that over the past 6, now going on like 7 years of me creating, being an artist, like sharing it on social media, I've really optimized my social media like in a simple way. And again, simple not being easy, but it can just be steps that we go through, and almost by accident. It has nothing to do with the algorithm. And when it comes to the algorithm, I don't give it much attention because at the end of the day, the two important things, one, we're never going to know what the algorithm's doing, what it's favoring, although I know there are some people out there that do know that, of course, and go through that rigmarole. But when it comes to the algorithm, it's going to do its thing. Like the algorithm's going to be the algorithm, it's going to do its thing, and I don't give it much pause. I don't really care. I don't think about it. It's going to do what it's going to do, whatever. And the second thing, going back to what I mentioned earlier, is the strategy that's going to work best for you is the one that you implement. So at the end of the day, that is the important thing. The algorithm's going to do its thing. Just let it do its thing. And you just implement the strategy that works for you. So the social media, not that it's always felt easy or felt light, because I completely understand how it can be heavy, it can feel burdensome, or even progress happening overnight. But I can honestly connect just about every opportunity that I've gotten in my art business to the social media platform I was showing up on. So back before Instagram, it was Facebook, and I had an art business page, which I still do. But that was where I showed up. That's where I showed up. I was a human behind that account. I was there not like all the time, not all the time, like wearing myself out, being like constantly there, but I had a presence there and people can feel that. And then when Instagram became a popular thing, that's like my one platform that I really chose to show up at. So when people came to my account on Instagram, you can sense that there's a human behind it. The posts, even though they're not every day, you can see that it's every few days. You can see my face in some of the posts. You can see now, in stories, now they have stories and videos and all of this stuff. The feeling when people would come to whatever platform I was showing up on is that there's a human behind it, and I think that is, that's kind of number one of what I have. And I take notes, so I have everything lined out very perfectly. But it's just that idea that when social media can work for you. So if you have that sense, if you pick the one or two platforms that you want to show up on, to have that feeling like there's actually a human with this account. There's actually somebody here that has something to say, that has artwork to share, and has a personality. Like that is your social media doing your work for you. So you can draw people there. They can share with their friends. They can share your account. And people get to know you very easily then, because you're kind of, that's where you're showing up. So to break down those three simple things that you should focus on when it comes to social media, really so you can get more opportunities for your artwork. And I'm also going to share and kind of talk about pitfalls to avoid, kind of things that I see other artists doing that I, just want to kind of mention and throw out there that, just things that we can all avoid. So the first thing is when people, and this is like focusing when it comes to your social media, these are things to keep in the back of your mind. When people show up to those one or two places that you are sharing your artwork, you're sharing your art business, can people know who you are? Can they know who you are from your social media? And I do say this all the time too, but you don't have to bare your heart and your soul on your social media. And I know that a lot of times people say to post these vulnerable posts and, these things that are relatable. And going back to the whole like keeping it simple, show up how you want to show up. Like that is the most relatable or vulnerable thing that you can do, is when you show up being who you are. So in your posts, in your captions, when you're sharing your artwork, is there anything that you can provide in those captions? In your feed, is there, and this is like a big one for me, and I know everybody has different comfort levels, but when I go to other people's social media pages, I do look for who I'm learning about. I look for their face. I look for a picture of them with their artwork creating. Even if you don't like taking photos like directly into the camera, or maybe it feels cheesy or inauthentic, like set up your camera just to take, this is something that I actually do in my studio. This is how I get a lot of my reels, is that sometimes when I'm painting, I will just set up my phone on video for 10 minutes, whatever. And from that video, I can take some snapshots, just screenshots. And a lot of times that's the cover of the video or the reel. Sometimes I'll even just place that snapshot in my Instagram feed. But the idea of just tying, like when people come to your page, can they get a sense of who you are? Whether that's just you as a person, whether that's your personality, it could even be tiny things in your profile at the very top. But that's a very simple thing just to keep in mind when people visit your page, people visit your social media, are they getting a feel for who you are? The second one sounds really almost unimportant or kind of like, well, duh. But the second thing is when people come to your social media, can they tell that you create? So can they tell that you create? As you're creating your content that you're going to put in your social media, in your feed, and I just revert back to Instagram because Instagram is where I show up. Instagram, I think, is a great tool for artists. So a lot of like this talk, you'll just hear me kind of reference a lot of Instagram and feed and all that jazz. But what I see sometimes in people's accounts, when I go to their page, I'm introduced to their artwork by someone maybe sharing it or learning about them, and I go to their page, and from like sometimes you can't even tell that they're artists. And maybe it'll say up there, but then maybe you'll see the photos, maybe you'll see what they have in their social media, and it's just kind of like photos of pets and cats and dogs, and cats and dogs are amazing. So feel free to share those too. But I mean, of it just being, just animals, just gardens. And I love gardens too. So I feel like I'm almost poo-pooing on all of these ideas, which I am not. But the idea of that feed showcasing that you create. And I'm not even to point 3, but I do feel like there are some times where I see this beautiful piece of artwork that somebody shared, and then I will go to this person's art page, and I don't even know they're an artist. It's like there's that one photo of this beautiful painting that they created, but other than that, I would have no idea, that they were artists. So I think that is a simple top-line thing. When people come to your social media world, your corner of the internet, can they tell that you create? The third thing is, can they tell what you create? So again, looking at the feed, now focusing more, like you will see images of artwork. But a problem that I see, and I'm all for sharing like works in progress, and I love the process of creating. I think that is such an important thing for us to share for our audience, especially because a lot of people in our audience may not be artists. A lot of them probably aren't. And the fact that they kind of get a behind the scenes of the artwork you create, they get a taste of the process. Like that's pretty much what most of my reels are. I'm not dancing around or pointing to things because that doesn't feel authentic to me. It's me, like my process sped up of creating. And I think that is such a powerful thing, to be able to share the process. but be sure that people can see what you create, that they know what you create. So to sprinkle in, like it's almost like the golden word is to sprinkle in those work in progress photos. And it'd be even fantastic in Instagram if you could put them in a highlight. So that way, if someone's like making all over, work in progresses and process videos, that they have kind of like that little part of your profile they can go to. But make sure when people come to your social media, if you have someone that was drawn there because someone introduced them to you, and they're like, hey, you should check out so and so in their artwork, or they saw maybe one of your paintings and they want to see more of your work, that quick visit to your profile is what they want to see. They want to get a sense, they want to get a glimpse, they want to get a taste of what you create, of what it is you create. If they like what they see, then they go to the website, or even still, it's just this idea of keeping it simple, making it easy. And I always talk about social media being like the new business card. I like the idea of social media doing the work for me so that I can prioritize connection. I love connecting with artists and businesses and galleries, and just this idea of like learning more about other people, other creative processes, all of that. And if you have the power, if you have that social media built up to where you can connect with someone online or connect with an organization, and they say, okay, well, let me go check out so-and-so, let me see their page. If they can just come in, just drop into your page and learn about you very quickly based on what you have posted, your images, they could see you, they can get a feel for your space, they can get a feel for what you create, they could see some of your process, they can get some of your personality from the captions. I mean, very quickly, that social media is doing a lot of the work for you without you even having to like schedule a meeting with people or, take time reaching out one by one. It does the work for you. I know I'm getting really excited. I could feel my ears turning red because like this topic lights me up in such a way. I just know that there are so many opportunities, and it doesn't have to be hard. It can be simple. Not that it's not heavy, because I completely understand that social media has the power to soak up a lot of time and a lot of energy and feeling sometimes that you may wake up and say, I don't have any images to post, or I don't know what to say. That's kind of a whole nother talk that we'll talk about. But just this intro to social media and a simple three-step strategy, because it is kind of like just 3 things to keep in the back of your mind. When people come to your social media page, the page that you show up, that is your digital playground, can they tell who you are? Can they tell that you create? And can they tell what you create? Just having those 3 things in the back of your mind whenever you go to post or share, just keeping it simple. If you have those 3 things in the back of your mind, that will set you up to create a social media account that can very easily share with others who you are without having to really do a lot of heavy lifting when it comes down to it. That is actually all I had today. Today was a very quick talk. Yeah. So that's what I have currently. I do have a couple other social media ideas I want to talk about in some more upcoming lives, especially with the question I asked last week on what feels heavy, what things, any others. And I did have some great comments in the bottom of that. And again, really creating something. Still unsure what of those 3 things I kind of mentioned in the beginning of the video. If it's going to be a boot camp, a course, or even like something simple as like a PDF and quick video, to make sure that we're optimizing social media. It really has the power to transform your business, to grow your business, to connect in a way that can be so simple. Without making it difficult, without making it heavy. So more on that to come. Patty, let's see. Such a great topic. Hello, thank you. I'm always worried about if I share too much versus not sharing enough. And I guess my response to that is, and I'm a big proponent. I feel like over the course of my journey as an artist, starting out part-time, second full-time job, and now like a full-time job, I feel like my views have changed a lot, especially over this past year, because I really prioritize the power of like in our businesses, like doing what we want to do. I mean, that's kind of like my mantra, because we are creating our art businesses. We need to enjoy them. And doing so in a way that, not like everyone's, you need to do things this way. You need to do things this way. It's more of taking in the information and kind of, where they say, eat the fish and spit out the bones. Something like that. You get what I mean. But doing things in a way that feels good to you. So Patty, as you say, I'm always worried about if I share too much versus not sharing enough. Two things I would probably respond to that is, first of all, I would not worry about that. I would share in a way that feels good to you, and realize that whether you think I just don't feel like either way there's really a wrong answer. I think the wrong thing is the thing that doesn't feel good to you, first and foremost. If you feel like you are sharing too much and it's feeling heavy and it feels like a lot of work and you're not getting into your studio, getting things in the kiln, whatever if it's affecting your happiness in your business, I think that would be the wrong thing, and not sharing enough. I feel like even though social media can feel heavy at times and it can feel like a lot of work, knowing that you can step away, knowing that, consistency is one thing, but it's not constantly. So knowing that if you step away, if you have projects you need to work on or things that need your attention, that it is okay to not to share a whole lot. I mean, gosh, looking at my Instagram, I've been working on the summit recently. I've been pitching people, having meetings on Zoom with people, potential speakers for the summit, which I am so excited about. But on my social media, I haven't been sharing a whole lot. I haven't been in the studio a whole lot. And that is okay. I think in our business, I know in our businesses that it is okay, because there are times that there are big things that are going on. There are big vision things that sometimes you need to step off what you're doing in order to push the ball even more forward. I hope that answered your question. I know, there, I could scroll down. Here's more. Oh, great. Hi, Teresa. Sorry, I got really high-pitched at saying hello. Hey, Arlena. It's like a virtual party. This is great. Teresa, awesome. I'm glad that you are encouraged. I use my IG to illustrate who I am as an artist in all aspects of my life. Yes, Patty, you do. And actually, I had you in mind as I was talking. And I mentioned the garden and I mentioned the cats, because I absolutely love the fact that you share those things. So that's why I pulled back and was like, please share those things. Please share, because that's all part of our story. And going back to what I always say about when people invest in our artwork, they're investing in us. And we don't have to overshare, but I think that it is so important, and it would be such a miss if we kind of held back who we are and what our other passions are. I mean, I share that I'm training for a marathon. Does that sound fun? No. It's not fun in the heat either. But it's a part of what I'm doing and who I am. And people want the human. Again, people want the human behind that digital screen. We really just want connection at the end of the day. And as artists, I really think that is our superpower, that we have the power to share who we are in a way that feels authentic to us, a way that feels good, that lights us up. And people are attracted to that. People are attracted to that, and in turn, they want to see our artwork. They want to see what these humans behind the digital screens are creating. So that's our superpower as artists. Okay, well, I'm going to... No, okay, I'm sorry, seeing if I had any more comments. Yes, so that is it all I have for today. I'm going to share more events on more of the lives that I'll be talking about over the next few weeks. So more to come on that. And I hope everyone has a great Wednesday and a great rest of the week. If I don't talk to you by then, we'll talk to you then.